Hey there, Survivor fans of the Super Fun Time Show. Today's video, we have Survivor 45. It's coming up. September 27th is set to be the premiere date. And this is the first time we're getting the 90-minute episodes. So hopefully we're going to get, all the goofy strategy that, Probst wants that makes this era a little differently, which admittedly I am softening up to. I'm not hating on it like I used to a little bit. It's whatever. That's fine. But hopefully we're going to spend a lot of time with castaways as well, and not just little snapshots of, like hardships they've gone through necessarily, but who they are on the actual island. Because I feel like a lot of those social conversations aren't really shown in the new era. What I want to see is those conversations from specific castaways. And it looks like right now, even though CBS hasn't officially released who those people are, should be coming any day now at this point, we have a list of the rumored cast from, I don't know, it was updated a couple months ago. And I thought I would give my own first impressions of these people based on almost nothing, and really try to see if there's anything, if I can gauge from who they are from the previews and moving forward. We're going to go through them here and kind of give my first just very brief impressions, and then eventually we'll do kind of a bigger breakdown, okay? First one, Austin Lee Kuhn, 26 years old, from Chicago, Illinois, business student. I've actually looked at his Instagram really quickly. Looks like he's a big adventurous dude. Looks like he's really fun. Love that. I think he's going to be a favorite of the Super Fun Time Show, and I hope he does really well. Obviously, I have no real commentary on anything else, but there is one preview where he's like jumping up and down like this, and I'm like, yo, this dude's a player. He's a dog. So I got a lot of good feelings about him. Brando Meyer, 22 years old, from Seattle, Washington, software developer. I have zero thoughts about this person because I don't even remember seeing them in the preview. So I guess I can't really say too much. I assume they're going to probably be in the Zach Wurtenberger kind of archetype. But we'll see. I mean, hopefully better than Zach, although Zach's really fun to follow on Twitter, so it's not all so bad. Bruce Perrault, or Perrault, I'm not sure how he pronounces it. This, of course, this is Bruce from season 44. Poor guy popped his head right away at the beginning of the game. He was a member of Tika, but no one ever thinks of Bruce and Tika because they just think of the Tika 3 these days. But Bruce, I was fortunate to see at the Survivor 44 finale. Bruce was looking good. He's obviously playing back-to-back 44 to 45. I don't know how he did. I have no clue. All I know is I grabbed his hand and I said, Bruce, I know you can't say a thing, but you're looking pretty skinny, bro. You're looking real skinny out there. So maybe he did well. Maybe he just lost a bunch of weight and kept it off. I don't know. But I thought he looked pretty good. So hopefully he does a lot better. I have a good feeling he's going to do really well. He's 46 years old, from Rhode Island, and a Navy vet, and just a good dude. So I think a lot's going to go his way. Dianellis D Valadaris, 26 years old, from Miami, Florida, sales department. Obviously very beautiful. Looks like she has a job where it's working with people a lot and negotiation, which I think is going to be great for a game like this. Hopefully she's going to do super well, because it depends what tribe she falls into, but I'm sure it's going to go very well for her as well. Drew Basil, 22 years old, from Birmingham, Michigan. He's a grad student. Yeah, I remember seeing him from previews where he talks about, like, push on the gas. So it looks like they're already kind of setting him up to be kind of a strategic, not a game bot, but like a quirky guy, a quirky, nerdy guy that we're supposed to find to be likable. Maybe like Evie from season 41. That's kind of what I can read from him, but that's based off of very little. Emily Flippin, 28 years old, from Washington, D.C., financial analyst. Yeah, I have a feeling if there was a comparison, I'm getting reserved, I'm getting calculating, I'm getting Ellie from season 43 on the Baka tribe. That's how I'm feeling based off of just this little bit here. And I'm sure she's going to be an interesting character. I have a bad feeling she's going early, like pre-merge, kind of like, or like around the earn the merge, just kind of like Ellie. Brandon Donlin, 25 years old, from Philadelphia, PA, content producer. Now I'll say I am actually really excited for Brandon for a couple of reasons. One, he's from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and that's where I'm from. So that's an exciting connection right there. Also, goofy fact, I work for a university, and somebody who was newly hired to the university found out, I like Survivor, I have a channel, all that dumb stuff. And they were like, actually, funny enough, I grew up with a guy who's going to be on the next season. His name is Brandon. I was like, oh, get out of here, dude. From what I could see from the previews, aside from me now knowing someone that actually knows him, if I had to guess based off of his inclusion in some of the promos, he's probably going to make it far. So that's what I think right off the bat. And I'm excited by that because he seems like he's going to be that kind of like down-to-earth guy that a lot of people in the audience can relate to. And hopefully he goes far. I'd like to see a Philly boy win. Unfortunately, James didn't win 43. Lindsay, Philly girl, didn't make it that far. It's a bummer. Hopefully we reclaim for Philly, right? It can't just be Jervis holding up everyone. All right, next on there, Hannah Rose, 32 years old from Baltimore, Maryland, a counselor. Love it already. I went to school and I did some counseling classes as a part of my grad program. Baltimore is a big city, good city, but you got to be a certain type of person to last in Baltimore or Philly or New York, you know, that kind of thing. And I'm sure she's going to be awesome. She's going to be mentally strong. She's going to be tough. And I love that. Also, I love her tattoos. Usually I give counselors a leg up when I do my preseason predictions because I think they know how to work with people really well in difficult conversations. And that's why I was a big fan of Carolyn, even though it looked like she was, you know, because she was, but her actual job, it's a lot of navigation difficult issues. So I got to give a lot of love to Hannah because she's probably going to do pretty well. Jack O Kane, 26 years old from Hanson, Massachusetts, law school grad. I can really get almost nothing from Jake so far. I don't know. Maybe he'll be like a Danny Massa. I'm from season 44. I'm not really sure. Honestly, I get no real vibes. So I actually have no first impression of Jake so far, but we'll see. Maybe I will. Julie Alley, 49 years old from Nashville, Tennessee, an associate attorney. Well, I'm glad there's an older player because older players, as we are seeing from like Big Brother 25 right now, it's good to have them on the cast because it's a big mix. You're trying to make an awesome soup, and you can't make a great soup if you're not going to toss in a carrot. Well, carrots are actually pretty common, but you know what I mean. Like you throw in a radish or something like that. And she's the radish in this situation. Associate attorney, I don't know if that means like an assistant attorney or what, but obviously she's got to be a strong personality and know her stuff and be calculating to some degree. So I'm excited to see how she does. I don't have a lot of faith in it, but that's based off of almost nothing. Nico Allsup, 30 years old from O'Fallon, Illinois, martial arts instructor. Dude looks like Clubber Lang off the bat. Not really like Clubber Lang, but like he's in that vein, right? And he's from Illinois, which is, you know, Clubber Lang was from Chicago. And martial arts instructor, he seems to be a big physical, imposing presence. And I don't know how I feel about it based off of the little bit I saw in the previews, like how they're setting him up. And I don't like when people are kind of put into a box that way, but they like to make characters. And it was only a short preview, so what can you do? I feel like he's a guy that's going to get really strategic really fast and he's going to flame out. That's how it feels, at least. Well, I don't know. I guess see how it shapes up, but I don't see a long run for him. But hopefully we see a little bit more, and I'm proven wrong. Sean Edwards, 34 years old from Provo, Utah, school principal. Well, that's a fun one. I think being a school principal is not a thankless job, but it's pretty tough. And you got to really love what you do in order to keep that kind of job, I think, since they don't usually pay too high. So he has a high tolerance. He's very patient being a school principal, I'm sure. Got to work with a few different age levels in harmony. He's got a good smile. Seems like a genuinely happy guy. And hopefully that follows through because I love genuinely happy people on shows like this. Sevilla Broderick, 27 years old from Decatur, Georgia, truck driver / USMC veteran. All right, I think I just found maybe my favorite of the season. I love that. She looks happy. She looks like she got a good head on her shoulders, like literally and metaphorically. If she's a truck driver and a vet, she knows how to navigate some very male-infested environments, a lot of machismo, you know, and she's probably going to do pretty well. She's probably going to navigate the game super well in that regard. That Keturah Tops, 34 years old from New York, civil rights lawyer. Well, if you're a civil rights lawyer, I mean, you're doing it because you believe in something and you're a major badass, because sometimes that doesn't pay super well. And there's a lot of other aspects of law you can get into that do. Looks like she got pretty fierce photos. I'm sure she's going to make a lot of good calculated moves. Also from New York, Kelly Nalbandian, 29 years old, New York, a nurse. We love a good nurse, you know. The nurses out there, they try to take care of people. They deal with a lot of nonsense, a lot of patience, a lot of bureaucracy, and usually pretty caring. Good bedside manner. So hopefully she applies all that in the Survivor. And Kendra McQuarrie, 30 years old from Salem, Massachusetts. She's a bartender. Who doesn't love a good bartender? There's a history of just amazing bartenders in Survivor history. Like, I think Rob Zabachnik from Survivor Thailand, and there's probably a billion others. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but a bartender, you got to be super social. You got to be able to flirt it up a little bit. You got to be able to extract a few more dollars. You got to know who to serve to and who not to serve to in order to get what you need, which is a few more dollars. I mean, hopefully she can apply that in this game. I like her last name already, Macquarie. It's just kind of fun to say. And, you know, there's obviously potential there just based off of occupation and age, 30 years old, you're like right on that border of being like still kind of like super young and bubbly, and you know, above that it's like a little older and a little more jaded to some degree with life. So she's in a sweet spot. Now, speaking of the age thing, so the third youngest person on the cast, but the youngest woman on the cast is J Maya, 23 years old, from Bay Area, California. So she's a singer-songwriter. I don't know who she is. Maybe she has music out there already. I'm also not the most plugged in when it comes to music, admittedly. She seems like, from the previews that I've seen, I remember her standing out very vividly. It looks like she's going to have a bit of a tude. Looks like she's going to know exactly what she wants, or if she doesn't, she's at least going to talk some crap in the meantime. And I think that's great. I hope she does really well. Obviously, beautiful young woman, like many of the other women on this cast. She's going to have some positives and negatives because of that. And hopefully, you know, it all works out her way. I have a fear that she's going to probably be more hated than maybe some other folks, but she's also going to be severely loved by other folks. Like, it's going to be you love or hate, rather than, yeah, they're okay, or universally loved. But hopefully, no matter what, she comes out of this with helping her music career, just like Chase Rice in Survivor Nicaragua. And then finally, I think the last one here is Caleb Geberwold. 28 years old, from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. Yeah. Sales and marketing coach. All right, so this guy, I remember from the previews very vividly, was talking about like being a villain or something, or he's gonna like cut your face off, or I don't know. Whatever Hannibal Lecter Survivor dissection he wanted to do. I remember him in there and he was like, listen, I'm totally good with being the villain. I'm down. I love a good villain on Survivor. I know the new era doesn't really have them anymore, but I love someone being willing to own up the fact that they are just gonna do whatever they have to win the game. Absolutely love it. Hopefully it goes well. He works in sales and marketing. That's tough, you know, and particularly he's a coach, which is interesting in that, because I'm like, all right, is he removed enough that he's not on the ground as much anymore? Because you have to do the hard sell in sales a lot of times, and marketing, it's, you know, how to frame things. So he's going to have a mind for it, but how does he apply that to Survivor? I don't know. It's going to be interesting with this cast, just based off the little we know. Obviously, tribe divisions are going to matter a lot, and I think there's some literature out there about what those tribes are, but I'm going to hold off now until I do a bigger breakdown video at some point. This is just a quick breakdown and just first impression of who these people are that are going to be on the game. CBS has not officially released anything up to this point. It should be coming pretty soon because the season premieres in like 3 weeks, which is really exciting. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to be doing a little bit more about this, and we'll have some castaways on throughout the season to do episode recaps. It's going to be really fun, and let me know if there's any video subject that you would like to talk about, because truthfully, I could talk about anything Survivor, but I want to make sure it's a topic that we love, right? We love. Let's get to do it. Hope you have an amazing day, everyone. And remember that today I have spoken. Yes, this is the first time I've actually let the video say spoken, because I kept cutting it off for fun.